Spencer and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Try to pull you to my side, and you do the same. Whose dignity will survive? Who takes the walk of shame? We push and we pull till nothing's left inside us, so we can roll till nothing's left to roll. Of course you don't show.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm very excited about our next guest because they have some killer music, and that means the game is over. So let's welcome to the show, Everlit. How are you?
What up, Pipeman?
What's up?
What's going on?
Thanks so much for having us, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we thought we were having a party on Google Meet, but here we are.
Yeah, we're showing our age. We can't figure shit out online.
I know, right? You know, it's tough to be a musician nowadays because you got to know how to do a bunch of other stuff besides being a musician.
I know, right?
That's true. Yeah, dude, and they all make it hard, man. Like, if you want to go post one thing on, like, Instagram, something that should take you, like, 3 minutes to do it across all channels ends up taking you 20. You're like, dude, I'm too old for this shit.
I know. It used to be easier. They used to have, like, Hootsuite where you could send everything to one place.
Yeah,
and they all decided, nah, we don't want you guys doing that. You need to make a different type of post for every single of the 2 million social media platforms.
Yeah, you know, you can't have the same amount of characters, or the photos don't fit the same way, so you got to reformat them from landscape to portrait. You end up you're like working on making a post for an hour. It's so stupid.
I know, right?
All the handles are different from channel to channel. If you want to tag people, some you can use audio, some you can't. Some you can use multiple pictures, some you can't. It's just a headache.
Yeah, I hate having to make our posts.
Yeah, you guys got it lucky. You don't do shit.
Well, you know, it definitely was a lot better in the old days where you just stapled flyers to telephone poles and traded tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were good times. Yeah.
I have
press kit.
I have, like, somewhere in storage, I do have the original from the tape trading demo tape for Metallica.
Wow.
You can't really tell what it says at all. Because, you know, it was like probably taped over like 50, 100 times or something like that. So it just sounds like a bunch of noise, but that noise was exciting back then.
All right. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's sick. That's crazy.
So who were your guys' influences growing up?
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I guess we'll go in a loop. Yeah, I mean, I guess we all listen to a pretty wide variety of stuff, but when it comes to the band, the main influences would be from like the early 2000s era, where you had Deftones, like old school Incubus, Korn, Slipknot, like all that kind of stuff is what we really kind of built our foundation around. We've grown as musicians. We listen to all sorts of stuff. But I think at the core, it's kind of like the new metal kind of music.
I like how you said you grew as musicians because, you know, especially when you have these hardcore fans from when you were like in the beginning, they all want you to stay like a garage band that doesn't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Right.
It's like you as an artist, I mean, you want to get better. You don't want to write the same song over and over again. You should be getting better at your craft. And then you got those hardcore fans that are like, no, don't. You're much better when you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah.
It is true. There's a lot of, I mean, I'm kind of like that too, though. Like with my favorite bands,
Me too.
I kind of want to hear like the style that I want from that band. But then the more you listen to like newer stuff, the more it grows on you. So it's kind of like in the
Yeah.
beginning, you're like, oh man, they really deviated from their sound. But if you go back, you spend a little bit more time with it, and you're like, oh shit, okay, like
Right.
I like this. I'm feeling
Sometimes, sometimes you just got to give it some time and like really listen to it instead of just basing it off your gut feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's been plenty of albums that have come out recently where I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, especially a huge one is Bring Me the Horizon. They changed so much. You know, I started out loving them as like just a death metal band, and they changed so much. And every album I'd be like, I don't know, I think they might have went too far with this one, but then I kept listening, and then I'd be like, actually, this is really good. You know,
Catchy. Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you listen to Ollie in interviews, he says, like, why do I want to write the same song over and over again?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I feel like a lot of you know, when we're younger, we really have that base of like being an antenna of like something else.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like a lot of like stuff that like if I get caught in like a writer's block moment or something, I'll find myself like just waking up like half awake being like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean? And it's just I'm like some kind of antenna grabbing it out the ether. And it's I feel like that's what really gives so many people the really original feel that's not like taught. And that's what I feel like that's what we fall in love with people's early stuff. But yeah, we gotta, I mean, like getting more polished, getting better at your craft is, I can see why people like it or hate it, you know?
Well, you know what else too? Hey, like that. I forgot to put that up there. my background. So, same here. Like, I was one of the original, went to the original Metallica shows. And so when they came out with the Black Album, me and my 25 gatekeeper friends were like, fuck them. They're a bunch of posers, sellouts. We're never listening to them again. Yeah. And, the fact is, like you said, to your point, give it a little time. We all came around after a while and oh, this shit is pretty good,
Right.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
So tell us about...
I think definitely the whole poser mentality and like thinking people's like not being able to understand why a band would sell out is definitely a younger mentality too. Because I had it when I was younger. Like when like I don't know, say Slipknot, when they did their first couple songs that really had like a radio sound and hook, I was like, oh man, they sold out. That's not. But now I'm older and I just like I love like Slipknot's
Wait and Bleed was too poppy.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. It's like now back to Wait and Bleed. It's like that song is so dope. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Totally. And it is a younger mentality, but I think it's because that younger mentality, not because it's just the angst. It's because you're poor broke anyway, so you don't give a crap about having to pay bills or support. So you can't conceive of a band member that's doing it for a living, trying to support themselves. Like, oh my God, they have to pay rent. Well, I don't give a shit if they have to pay rent. They should still be fucking eating bologna sandwiches, man.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you have to start like just having all these responsibilities and stuff, you're like, let's make some music. Let's make some money off this music, man.
Might as well, because it's like one of the hardest jobs there is. Most people don't realize, like, they think it's all fun and games. Like, it is, especially today. It's freaking, my hat's off to you. It's freaking hard to be a musician nowadays because, like, you have to work 10 times harder just to make a quarter of the money.
Yeah, you gotta do it because you love it. Otherwise, it's just the work ain't worth it.
Mm.
Yeah, well, that's why I think some bands don't last too, is because they're not doing it because they love it. They're doing it to be rock stars, and the rock star happens and then it dies.
Yeah,
and they create bands with just like people that they just like toss together because they're like, I'm just gonna use these people and then get to the next spot and use more people. But And that's why this is, you know, in my opinion, one of the greatest bands that could ever be, is because we're all really close. We're all like family. So it's
That's so cool to hear.
Achieve, I think.
Yeah, that's way cool because you got to be together like pretty much 24/7. Like you have to be a family or else you're going to kill each other.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we've gotten close. We've gotten pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. It's
That's
like
inevitable,
siblings.
though. That's,
Yeah.
People are gonna fight, but what really matters is that like we bounce back fast. You know what I mean? We're like, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's cool.
which shows like that you actually care about that person.
It's so apparent on stage too, because like as somebody that's in the audience, you can tell if the band, you know, you don't need like a peripheral moment to tell that people are pissed at each other on stage or that they're fun and having a good time and like loving being up there. Like you can totally tell.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's nothing a cold beer with your boys can't solve.
There
Right.
you go. Love
Right.
it. So
Cold beer.
tell us about the new song, Game Over. Like, tell us the inspiration for it, you know, and everything about it from your perspective as the artist.
Yeah, so I'm the vocalist and Fidelity's our drummer, but me and him go back and forth kind of working on the lyrics together. He did this one lyrically, so I'll let him take this one.
We still like add to each other's stuff though. You still put in a lot towards that.
Oh yeah. But I said we work
Right.
together as well.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, no.
So you led this one pretty much on lyrics,
Yeah,
so let's let you talk
started-
about it.
I started this one.
Yeah.
Me and Ryan are both, you know, great lyricists and pattern writers, but we like to fuse together and become Super Saiyan. That's how we write.
I love it.
But yes, no, this one was the premise that I started with was just like kind of like the games that we play, whether it be a relationship, and inner conflict, even as just like a society, like just like the power games that we play, like everything is like this kind of like, even in like a single argument, you know, it's like people get to a point where they're not even like trying to figure out what's right anymore. They're just playing like a who can win game. You know what I mean? And we play like all these like petty little games that add on so much extra stress and like absolutely like fly our cortisol levels, which is extremely unhealthy for you. So it's like, it's just essentially just being understanding that you can just kind of cut the game out. It's your life's going to be so much better with just subtracting those petty little games, you know? And so
I don't
like fully encompassing.
I don't understand people that love to live in that like every single day. You know, you take
The
the
reality TV people, man.
oh yeah, that's what really created it, and like that reality TV isn't even reality, so it's like it's just drumming people up to thinking some of this stuff is normal life, and you know, I live here in South Florida, which is probably the world capital of games. Okay. You know, and it's like if people would just be real with each other, like it'd be a lot happier planet, I think.
Yeah. Well, you know how like people can get different ideas and stuff from lyrics. One idea I had from these lyrics was, this kind of goes in hand with what Jacob was saying, but like even when it comes to like governments and stuff, they like and just the way the people are running the world with these power games, like when there's a war that happens or something, you know, these governments are like killing innocent people over like their ego that they want to be the most powerful. Right. So like it's like if we could like really concentrate on what the real problems are in life, we'd save ourselves a lot of pain, you know? Like we're always causing ourselves pain by having the wrong idea of what's important.
So much unnecessary pain.
Yeah, it's just so much unnecessary pain that we cause ourselves. You know,
Right.
it's just crazy. So, yeah.
Totally. And it's funny you
Cool
bring
beer.
up the government part of it. And it's like right now it's the oldest game in the book, divide and conquer. Like it, and it's like distract. Let's distract, and you guys can fight about this stuff that we're not really worried about. We just want to distract you.
Right.
Yeah, it's super. It's so that we don't see their corruption, right? Let's get them fighting so we can take advantage of them, and they won't even
Divide.
care.
100%.
I think a lot of what that is too is imposing fear. Once you impose fear on somebody, you have complete control over them.
No doubt.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I find that's what's cool about live music, because live music, I feel we can escape all that crap.
Mhm.
You go to a music festival and everybody's one. There's no division, there's no bullshit. You're just there to have a good time and enjoy great music.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, live music is definitely an escape from, like, it's like therapy kind of for me.
Totally.
And writing it is like therapy, playing it's like therapy, listening to it's like therapy, going to see it's like therapy. I think that's why humanity's so obsessed with music, because it's just very therapeutic for us.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Feels
I
good
think
to
it's
listen to.
therapeutic for me, the listener, and for you, the artist, for different reasons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a disappearing of when you're just sitting there standing in the music, and there's a disappearing in the creation of an art. So it's like there's a way to get out of that, all that crazy games, all the crazy games we play.
Yeah, and plus all the stuff that bothers you can just get out in a song instead of worse ways. And same for us. Like, we could get out all our frustrations, anger, depression, whatever it is, in a live show or in a song. Like, you listen to any song, it relates to something and gives you power.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, music has power.
Getting punched in the chest by like a sound wave instead of punching someone in the face.
Totally. For me, that mosh pits, that's always it for me, man. I go in there and let everything out there, and I always say it saves somebody from getting their ass kicked.
Exactly. Yeah. I tell a lot of people when they're like, older folks, they're like, man, how do you like that? Oh, it's like, well, you got to go to a live show. You gotta feel that on your chest. You got to feel that blast, that explosion. And it's, I feel like you have to, that's such a live thing that's why a lot of people don't get it.
I was having this exact discussion with my brother the other day, because I brought him to some show. I forget what it was. It wasn't even that heavy. And he's like 6 years older than me, and he couldn't handle the bass, and he couldn't handle how loud it was, and blah, blah, blah. And we were talking about it the other day. I'm like, yeah, for me, that's fuel and therapy, and that makes me feel great. That pumps my adrenaline up, the louder, the better.
Yeah, dude, metal soothes me. My blood pressure goes down when I listen to metal. I'm like, it's like a chill pill for me.
And a lot of people don't get that. But yeah, I'm also a motivational speaker, and it's like I will blast like Slayer or Slipknot on the way to go do a seminar to get pumped up to do the seminar.
Yeah. It definitely works as pump up music too, for sure.
Yeah. And then in the same token, like if I'm just chilling, or I'm at, going for a walk, I blast that stuff. It just it takes all the stuff away that has me pissed off or upset or heart rate going or any of that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Closest.
I used to fall asleep blasting metal in my headphones. I don't do it anymore. Really? But when I was a bit younger, I used to have I'd be laying there in my bed with my headphones on, listening to metal music and just falling asleep.
Totally. And my dad used to say something because I would sit there and I'd have in high school MTV on with no volume and then like blasting something, no matter what it was, and doing my homework. And he like, how do you do your homework like that? I just do.
How do you concentrate? Right.
We lost Kyle for a second. He went into the void.
He came back.
We brought him back from the void.
Like a magician.
So how do people reach you guys on socials, on the web? Check out the new song. Check out everything else you have, tour dates and all that.
Yeah, the central hub is everlitmusic.com. That's where, you can stay up to date with us. But on socials, X, Instagram, great places to hang out and chat with us. Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, pretty much everywhere like the main shit happens. That's where we're at.
Yeah, and if you're trying to check it out, check the music out for the first time, I would say hit up if you have Spotify, hit up Spotify because that's the one we're trying to boost the streams on the most.
Yeah, we want to tickle the Spotify algorithms.
I know, right?
Yeah, you got to tickle the rhythm just right.
Yeah, you got to tickle the rhythm.
You got to hit those million plays so you can get your 5 cents.
Yeah, man, come on, let's go.
You got to hit that G Spotify.
Yeah,
I love it. That should be a thing. That should be a thing.
Yeah,
I think you should start that like a trend of calling it that.
Yeah. All right, we're coining it.
Yeah. Fidelity right there. Boom.
There it is. Anything else you guys want to share with the listeners that we haven't covered already that they should know about you guys or any of your new music?
I don't think we mentioned that a JT from Famous Last Words is on the new single. Came over, so if that might persuade some extra people to go put their ears on it. So it's a really good song, but he took it up to the next level too by getting his vocals on there. So he's in the second verse too, so you got to listen a little bit.
And speaking of the writing, he added, a lot for his parts too. That was it wasn't like something that I wrote or Ryan wrote.
Oh yeah, true.
He put his stuff in there. So
that's cool.
We gave him the recap. They gave him the recap on what the song was about. He ran with it, man. He absolutely crushed it. Yeah, he killed it. It sounds disgusting. So give it a listen. And then, we got a lot more coming. We're going to the studio in a couple weeks to record 3 more tracks. We have 2 recorded, ready to go. We're going to be releasing a lot of music. So follow on socials, wherever you're listening to music, whether it's Spotify or Amazon or, iTunes, whatever. Follow us and get ready for more to come.
Very excited about that because this song is badass and everybody has to check it out. So
Thanks.
I thank you guys for making us great music, great therapy, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us,
brother.
Anytime.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.